Shelley Clark. I'm the principal at Lakewood Elementary School, and we are here today at the Elizabethtown Airport with Up in the Air Enrichment Camp for the summer. We've got students from Creekside, Cecilia Valley, and Lakewood participating in the camp this week, and we're learning about all things that go up in the air, including balloons, birds, planes, drones, and even the weather. So we're here today to learn a little bit more about airplanes and how they work, and excited to see some airplanes and helicopters and maybe some other things that fly in the sky that come out of the Elizabethtown Airport.
I'm Stanley, and y'all come with me, okay?
Stanley, you want?
Yes,
Really,
thank you.
yes.
Thank you very much. All righty.
We're going to follow behind Mr. Stanley.
All righty. What's your name?
David.
David? All right, David.
My last name is Barry.
Okay, all right. Well, we're going to go through a gate here. We're going to go down to this concrete down here. There we go. And let's be easy. Don't fall. Now listen. Y'all come on. Bring them all in here. Okay, y'all listen to me. Y'all listen to me. My name is Stanley, and I'm a retired American Airlines pilot, and I live here in Elizabethtown. And this is my airplane, and this is the hangar I keep it in. I want to tell you a few things about what you need to learn to do to become a pilot. And this is the book that you have to study. It's got all kinds of pictures and charts and graphs, and you learn, and you have to go take a written test to become a pilot. But it is a long road, and it takes a lot of study, because there's a lot of things on an airplane that you have to know about. The pilot has to know a lot about his airplane. For instance, there's a thing on the wing right here, and it's called a pitot tube. Does anybody know what that's for?
Yeah.
Okay, do you see the hole in the beginning of this? As the wing is going through the air hits that hole, and it creates a high pressure area. And there's an instrument in the cockpit called the airspeed indicator, and that tells you how fast you're going. And that's how we get that information, is from the pitot tube. Okay? The fuel of the airplane is in the wings. There's two fuel tanks. There's one on the left and one on the right. And the engine is right here, and here's the propeller that turns and causes the airplane to produce thrust. So when we as people are walking around the airplane, we want to be very careful and not get near the propeller. Now, nobody is going to start it right now, but you always want to treat a propeller as if it's about to turn. Does that make sense? Because if we don't get near the propeller, nobody gets hurt. Does anybody have any questions? Yes?
What makes the airplane fly?
Oh, well, what makes the airplane fly? I can answer that very well. Money. That's a very good question. No, I don't mean to be funny. What makes an airplane fly are the wings. The propeller creates thrust, and it causes the airplane to start going down the runway, and as the wing builds up speed, the air going over the wing creates lift. Now, if I had more time, I would explain it to you, but the wings produce lift, and that's what lifts the airplane up. Does anybody have another question? Yes, sir.
How do you fuel it up?
That's a very good question. On top of the wing, and I'm not going to be able to lift everybody up, but there's a hole in the top of the wing about right here with a cap on it, and I taxi the airplane over to the gas pumps. Can y'all see those white gas pumps over there? The gas tanks? That's where the gas is, and I pull it up there, I park the airplane, and I bring a hose up to the airplane on a ladder, and I open the hole up, and I put the gas in through a hose. And it's sheet metal aluminum, and it's around a monocoque skeleton, and it's sheet metal, okay? And that's what creates the strength of the airplane, is the sheet metal. But there's also plastic. If you'll look right here, there's a landing light right here. If I turn the landing light on, the light goes through this plastic lens, and it lights up the runway. So there's lights on the airplane. Yes, sir.
Like how does the airplane turn and how do you get to your destination?
The airplane turns by use of flight controls. On the edge of the wing, there are these things called flaps. Excuse me. I'm going to move this up. That's up and down. And if you look, can you see the other side of the wing? The other thing is going the opposite direction. So that's called a flight control. And on the back of the airplane is an elevator, and it creates the nose to go up and down. Now these are the keys. I can lock my airplane.
So nobody can sit in and
nobody can get in. Yes, because I've got headsets and all that sort of stuff in it, okay? So here we go. This is how you unlock the door.
It's like a car key, right?
It's just like a car key. That's exactly right. And you open the door, and the door comes all the way open. Now, I want to tell you something.
What's that little, that's great.
Hold on, Mason. Hold on,
Well,
Mason.
that's what you step on to get
Yeah,
in
but
the
what if
airplane.
it breaks off?
It's metal. It won't break off. But I want to tell y'all something. Most of these other small airplanes out there, the door only opens about that wide. So it's real hard to get in and out of the airplane. My airplane is a Cardinal. It's a Cessna Cardinal, and this door opens all the way up. So it makes it a lot easier to get in the airplane. So when I move it over here, I can just basically sit in the airplane just like this. Okay? Now y'all watch your head. I'm going to move the flight control. I am moving. See the aileron?
Yeah.
That's what
Don't
makes
touch
the
it, don't
airplane
touch it.
turn and fly. And can y'all see on the back the elevator move up and down? That's the elevator. How long have I been a pilot? I became a pilot in 1978. A long time ago. A long time ago. Well, an airplane like this. Do what?
That was when we didn't even have electronics.
No, I didn't even have electronics. And this is one of the things you study when you start studying ground school. This is an E6B.
Looks like a watch.
Everybody off the
It's sort of like a watch, but it's a circular slide rule, and you learn how to use this to make flight calculations, okay? And the book that I showed you here teaches you how to use an E6B. This is your log book. This is what a log book.
behind the line. Hands off under Shelby.
This is what a logbook looks like, and you write down your flight times in a logbook. You always have to keep every flight that you fly in a logbook. These signs on the back of my hangar are signs that my neighbor made for children like you. I come out and I show people that's airport signs.
Alrighty, group one. If you guys want to come follow me, we're gonna head way up around the other buildings, and I'll show you where we work on the airplanes.
Behind in a line, but
This building here is our maintenance shop. All the airplanes that are in here because they're being worked on. Sometimes they're having their engines worked on. Sometimes they're having their radios and electronics worked on. Sometimes they're changing a tire. That's what this one here on the jack is doing. We stay very busy with them. You can see there's quite a few airplanes in here that are taken apart in different ways. And pretty much any type of repair that needs to be done on an airplane, we can do it right here in this shop. Anybody have any questions about any of that? Yes?
What if one of the wings broke off? How do you repair that?
Well, they're made out of metal and they're riveted together. So you take it off and put new metal on it. Yes?
like if a car wrecks, they repair the car.
That one is in for what they call an annual inspection. Most of these airplanes are pretty old, so they have to be very, very carefully inspected every year to make sure they're still safe to fly. Yes?
What if the gas tank breaks?
Yeah. Then we look at it and find where the leak is and patch it. Yes.
Why does a dog fail?
What?
Why does a dog fail?
Well, you may notice this whole side of the building is open. This whole wall folds up. All right.
So the airplane still go anywhere?
All these airplanes fly sometimes.
I don't
Now-
know.
No, there will be a pilot in them. Now, if you now we all get back into a line and we can walk through around this one and you can see a little closer. But please just stay in a line and don't touch anything. Yeah, there was an airplane here that leaked oil.
That one's the same, is it?
So when the airplanes need to be gassed up, we use these trucks to do it.
Why? I hate pigs.
Now that car doesn't fly. Alrighty.
What happened to that yellow one? That's off the part.
Oh, it's just being stored. It's not going to fly anytime soon, so it takes up less room with the wings off of it. Yeah. You might have seen there's another one over it. There's a couple more over in that building that are being worked on that don't have wings on them right now too. Alrighty.
Is that where you take off at?
Yeah, that's the runway way out there. Alrighty, you guys. Now, you may notice most of the airplanes in this building here are all put together. They're not taken apart. These buildings that we store the airplanes in are called hangars, and because airplanes have to fly, they're not very heavy. They're a lot lighter than like a car is, and so if we get strong weather and winds, they can blow away and be damaged. So most people, if they can, they like to keep their airplane inside in the hangar. So that's what these airplanes here are. They're being stored. This airplane here is probably going to take off here in a little while. Maybe you guys will still be around to see that. That's yeah. Hopefully, that there's a student pilot is going to fly that with his instructor here. Well, most of these here aren't broken.
I see the green one. What happened to the green one?
The green one, it's waiting for its pilot to come get it. It's just waiting for its pilot to come fly it. One of them has. We don't have very many crashes here, fortunately. Most airplanes are very safe, and most pilots are very well trained. Yes.
Do you sometimes crash into each other sometimes?
We try not to do that. That we knock on wood, that has never happened here. Yes.
How do you close those doors?
There's a button over here on the wall that does that. I can actually show you that here in a moment if you like. You guys. The Army has lots of helicopters.
My brother's helicopter. I like playing. What helicopter is that?
Yeah.
Well, me and my brother saw a lot of army helicopters.
Yep.
Is that from a helicopter?
No, that one's called an ultralight. I'll tell you a little bit about that when we get everybody over here. Yeah, here the engine come up and now the tail's up and there he goes.
Made their day right there.
Excellent. Just a couple more things over here. This helicopter here, this is the only helicopter we have on this airport at right now, and you may notice it's got the ambulance logo on it. So this is actually an air ambulance. So if people get hurt or have a car accident somewhere, there's a pilot and a nurse and a paramedic that are here 24 hours a day, every day, all night, all day. And if someone gets hurt in an accident, they come out here and get in this helicopter and fly to where the accident is, and they can pick up the hurt people and take them to the hospital. Yes?
How do they know where the hurt people?
Usually the police call them, or the 911 people tell them, so they know where to go. We don't have very many crashes. Yes?
How does it get out of here?
They pull it out with this tractor. You see the helicopter.
How can a tractor move that thing so smaller?
Well, it's got a lot of power, and it's on wheels. Yes.
What is in there?
There's a lot of medical equipment in there. They have oxygen tanks and all the stuff they need to help hurt people get better. If you ever see people in parachutes in town around here, they're jumping out of these airplanes here.
We see farmers market.
Yeah.
I saw.
Like this silver one that airplane is 80 years old.
What about this one?
They don't weigh very much at all. So it's pretty easy for a person to push them around. Now the bigger airplanes like the jets out front, we have to use the tractor for that. All right.
We are making kites and we are making parachutes to see what we can get to fly to go up in the air. Here we are, kites.
Okay, this is all part of the Up in the Air camp.
Up in the air camp. Kites, and then we had our parachutes.
Bubble party! Wow! Oh, yes! Oh, Bubba! Come on, camera, get it! Get it, get it! Hey, Bubba! Oh, okay.
Okay, today we're going to see a drone, maybe 2 drones flying. I understand you guys have been studying about soap bubbles that fly, paper airplanes that fly. I think somebody told me you had big parachutes to make balls go up in the air and fly. Did anybody get to ride on the parachute? No? You did. Did they throw you high in the air? 100 feet? 5 feet?
Speaking of
1
100
foot?
feet, there's a balloon launcher that goes up 100 feet in the air. It's probably like 5.
You saw a balloon launch, yeah. Who went to the airport? Oh, did you get to see the airplanes?
I was on live TV.
Oh, you were on live TV.
I
Wow.
like this.
Well, I'm not on live TV, but my name is Mike Douglas. There used to be a guy on TV by that name, but that was a long time ago. All right. Now, did they have the biplane in the hangar? The one with 2 wings? It was in there. There was in there. Has anybody ever heard of Red Baron's Pizza? They have about 4 biplanes like that, and I got to ride in one. Does anybody know what can make a drone fly? How can it get up? The propellers, that's right. How many propellers does this one have?
4.
That's right. Sometimes they call this a quadcopter. Quad meaning 4, so it has 4 propellers. This one has 4 propellers. These propellers fold up so it can travel real easy, like that. And then these propellers are really thin. They're paper thin, so don't nobody touch the drone, okay? And they're sharp too. They can cut your finger, especially if they're moving. Now, I've got a yellow vest on because I'm the pilot in command, and my job is to keep everybody here safe. My job when the drone goes up in the air is to keep the airplane pilot safe. If I see an airplane pilot coming, I have to get out of his way. I have to make sure the sky is safe for him. I do work for some engineers, civil engineers. Did anybody in here know a civil engineer? Somebody that does engineering work? They make maps and stuff like that so they can plan for buildings or for highways. Engineers are very important, engineers and surveyors. This drone has a big camera on it. Does anybody know what a megapixel is? It has a number of pixels that it looks down on the ground. This one has 45 megapixels. There's another camera that I could get for this that has 100 megapixels, and they're working on one that has 200 megapixels, which is a lot. Now, can everybody see my thumbnail? See my thumbnail?
What thumbnail?
What thumbnail? Right. Well, did you know that that drone right there can see my thumbnail from the playground? That's how good a camera that has. So when it's up in the air taking pictures, it can see all the details that it needs to see for the engineer.
That was loud.
Wow. One of the things that I do with this drone is I told you how good a camera it's got. He's got a big camera on the front, and I can, when I get ready to, I can aim it point straight down to the ground so it takes pictures of the ground.
Is he heavy?
So,
Can I see
oh yeah, he's heavy.
When you turn it, the camera stays still.
That's right. Do you know what that's called that's holding that camera on? It's probably a new word. It's called a gimbal. Gimbal. And that keeps the camera steady so when it's up in the air and the wind is blowing it around and all that, that camera can stay steady. So he doesn't move around. This part right here is what they call a LiDAR. This thing shoots lasers. Lots and lots of laser beams. Well, it's not on. It's not connected to the drone. It's not shooting any lasers right now. So just because you can fly a drone doesn't mean that's all you do. You have to maybe make maps. You have to make photos. Now this is what they call a ground control point. See where this little circle's at right there? There's a GPS built into here, and then there's a solar panel right here that gives it electricity. So what this does is when it's on the ground, like that one out there, it collects information from satellites in the sky that tells it where it's at on the face of the earth. All right, is everybody ready?
Taking off.
He's going to be loud. You can cover your ears if you want to. Oh, wait a minute. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Home point updated. Mission set to
Go real high. Okay, everybody wave. Everybody wave. Hey, cheeseburger. All right, who said go real high? Oh, come on, you want to go higher. Go higher. Okay, he needs some encouragement. Let's hear everybody say, go higher.
Go higher!
See how smart that drone is? A drone is flying himself right now. See, I'm not flying the drone right now. It's got a computer in it that tells it what to do. Now I told the it's coming down. He's going to land, and I'm not going to touch it.
landing.
Everybody's got to stay back. See, the computer's telling it where to land at. Back up. Back up.